Scouts Canada, Trail Skills, Level 3. 3.1. I can pack a rucksack for a day hike.
So, this is my rucksack, my scout bag. This is my survival kit and one of the tools that cannot fit in here. This is a first aid kit if I get a cut. I have that. Food in my lunchbox, water, and clothes.
And why do you have a sock?
Socks.
Yeah, why do you have socks?
Let's say I'm crossing a bridge and I step on a thing that's loose and my foot sinks through and touches the water, I can switch for
So
socks.
if your feet get wet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And in that piece of item of clothing there, that's for against it's water repellent.
Yeah.
It's also, it keeps you warmer as well. So now the food that you have there,
Yeah.
let's look at the food.
Granola bar, another snack, I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
Clementine and apple.
Right. So you got something that's nice and refreshing. Well, what are you going to do with the garbage?
Throw them in this bag.
And then you're going to bring it back with you, right?
Yep. Can't leave any trash behind.
Yeah, that's right. No trace left behind.
Yep.
So how are you going to pack your stuff?
Like this.
So you put the heavy stuff at the bottom. Yeah, go ahead. Huh?
I got it. Yeah.
So you have the water on the outside because you're going to be grabbing your water a lot, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, great. Now you're ready for a hike.
Yeah.
3.2. I can explain what clothes to bring for a day hike depending on the weather. So when you're going hiking, what's really important to think about when you're thinking about clothing?
The weather, if it changes, and what you're bringing as clothes.
Right, so you have a sock there in case your feet get wet, right? And why do you have a jacket there?
So let's say, like, I go outside and I see it raining. Oh, I put this on.
Yeah. And then what happens if you get too hot?
I take off one layer.
Yeah. And
That's why it's good to have many layers.
That's right, yeah. 3.3. I can follow a route on an orienteering map. Okay, Robbie, do you remember what park this is at?
Terracotta.
Yeah, and so we've gone for a couple hikes there. And what about this map here that's at the entrances of the park? What's that called? Do you know?
No, the map of Terracotta?
Yeah, so it is a map of Terracotta. We call it an orienteering map. Okay, so whenever you go, you have the entrances of all the places that you could possibly go into, and then it shows you trails. So here we have all the trails. So you see that thing on the lower left?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shows you, what does that show you?
Shows you, like, the places?
Yeah, it shows you all the different places you could go. It's specifically, they're all trails, and they're marked how big they are.
Yeah.
So when you go in and you try to decide how much you want to walk, and then it tells you where to turn. And every time you cross over onto another place, there's a little sign to tell you where to go. So this one is another one of the same park. And you notice all those numbers?
Yeah.
You know what those are for?
No.
Those are like little signs that you can go and read about a certain part of the park. And in some cases, they talk about the different kinds of animals that there are in the forest, or different kinds of flowers. So the whole point, a lot of it, is to be very informative about stuff. 3.4. I can identify the features of a topographical map. So, Robbie, what kind of map is this?
Topographical map?
That's right. So this map is a perfect aerial shot from the top, and it's looking down. And there's a lot of, it's not a picture, it's like a drawing of specific features to identify them. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's look at the map and see what kind of features we can see. So, Robbie, the first thing we have is in the red box there. They're called UTM lines. Have you ever heard of that before?
No.
So UTMs are Universal Transverse Mercator Lines. Okay, it's probably something you never heard of. But every map has them, and what it is it lines up with the coordinates of the entire world. So that line will have a number, okay, and it'll show you where it is on a like even a globe, you know, or a bigger map, a map that's where the land masses are bigger. And it's zoomed out, let's say, okay? So that's to show exactly where you're at, and they're very important. You can give people coordinates like that. A lot of people do that, like shipping and military people use those lines, those coordinates all the time. Okay, Robbie, so the UTM lines, these are what it looks like on a globe now. You notice the long lines that go horizontal? They're called latitudes, okay? And the prime one is called the equator, and it's also the longest one because it goes completely around the Earth. Because some latitude lines, as they go up, they're shorter, and the other ones that go up and down are called longitude. Okay, yeah, long. So think of them because they're all longer. That's how I remember than the latitude.
That makes sense.
Okay. Now there's 60 zones, and you know where the first one, the first longitude, where it starts?
Nope.
It starts in Greenwich, England. Where,
Really?
Yes. It's called the Prime Meridian, okay? And it's a line that goes right through, and the world, they decided, like there was some conference, and they decided that it should go through Greenwich, England.
Ooh.
Yeah, I stood on the line. So it goes right through London, and it starts off, because you have to start off counting somewhere, so they decided London would be a good place, or Greenwich. Greenwich is a borough of London.
Yeah.
Okay?
Really? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So do you know what the red box says there, Robbie? Do you know what those are?
No.
Those are called contour lines.
Yeah.
Okay? So contour lines are used to show the geographical features of the land rising and going up and down, right?
Yeah.
And so what can you tell me about those lines if they're really tight together like that?
I have no idea.
It means that the slope is really steep,
Oh.
okay? And if there's a long time where there's not, it means it's flatter, okay? You can have a map with no contour lines at all, and it'll show that it's really flat. But when there's like that, you know that there's a mountain there.
Oh.
Okay, so it goes up and up and up like that. Okay, so you see those red boxes?
Yep.
So one says 6,600, and what does that other one at the top left say?
7,000.
Yeah, 7,000. So do you know what those are?
No.
They follow the contour lines, okay? You'll notice that the 7,000, the line is a bit thicker, and the 6,600 is also a little bit thicker. So that gives you the height of that line.
Oh.
Okay, so if you follow between the 6,600 and the 7,000, they'll be, if they don't have numbers, you don't need to know the numbers because you know what's in between both of them. You know that they're in between the lower and the higher level. So where is the peak? What is higher?
The 7,000.
The 7,000 is higher. And look, the 7,000 even has extra lines going up. So it's going to be above 7,000. That's really high. Now this map could either be feet or meters. So it's always important to see in the legend what it is.
But does it ever say on a map?
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, maps
okay.
also tell you. They also have a legend to tell you how far distances are as well. Okay. So those are very handy because now you know that there's a lot of mountains. If you're planning a hike, you'll think, oh boy, because climbing a mountain's a lot harder.
Yeah.
So what about the lower left red box here? What does that say, Ravi?
Lake.
That one's easy, right?
Yeah.
So it's pointing towards this blue body of water,
Yeah.
right? So what does that mean?
It means there's water.
Yeah. There's water. It also tells you the shape of it. So you know that it's a lake,
Oh yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing feeding into it. It's just a body of water.
Yeah.
These are two other blue objects on the map. What are they?
Stream is the line.
Yeah.
River is the dot.
Yeah. So
On the side.
yeah, exactly. So a stream is typically something that's not very wide and
Yeah.
easier to cross, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? You can't really count on it, but you know if it's a thin blue line, it's thin. And
Yeah. It's a stream.
yeah, and a river on the right,
Yeah.
you'll notice that there's a river, and that river is a little bit wider.
Yeah. It
You
looks
know?
like a ring almost.
Well, I mean, we don't have the rest of the map, so
Yeah.
we don't see what it is. And you'll also notice that there's a severe steep embankment on it,
Oh yes.
right? So that's what
the
the
little
yeah,
bumpy lines.
with the little, yeah, exactly. So that with the contours, it gives you a little bit more context. Also, you see the stream is on completely flat area,
Yeah.
right? So that gives you an idea of the differences between the two.
Yeah.
Okay, Robbie, so what does this red box say?
Forest.
Yeah, so do you notice what it's pointing at?
Yeah, the forest.
Yeah, so what denotes a forest?
I don't know.
So you look at the lines where it goes to, those are green patches.
Oh yes, so those are trees.
Yeah, so everything
Ah,
where
makes
there's
sense.
green is trees. And everything where it's not, okay, isn't.
It's ground.
Yeah. Okay, so Robbie, you notice that the box on the right,
Yeah.
it's completely bare. It has no green in it. So what does that mean?
It means I don't know.
It's unforested area. Now you won't. This map for some reason just wanted to show the difference between a forest and an unforested area. Basically, everything that doesn't have the green has no trees. Now you can have a few trees, but it's not a cluster of trees. So there's no trees anywhere around there. Okay. Okay, so Robbie, what's this area over here?
Marsh.
Yeah, so you see a marsh. You see it has outlines that are broken. It has blue broken lines,
Yeah.
right? Whereas the lake has unbroken thick lines,
Oh yeah.
right? So marsh like it shows that there's some water. You could
But not a
probably
lot.
yeah, but it depends. Like some marshes you can't walk across, some you could.
Yeah.
So it's still a hazard. You don't never want to walk through a marsh, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Robbie, do you see the little symbol in that little red box?
Yeah, it really looks like those flowers.
Yeah.
Of the lily pads, the little flowers.
Yeah, when we went canoeing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like a vegetation that you would see in a marsh, and so that's a universal symbol for marshes.
Really? I thought you only found them like somewhere where you would go like canoeing. Like
Well, you'll notice that the places where we went canoeing that it had too many
Yeah.
weeds.
yeah, oh yeah.
So that's not a place to go canoeing, really. So this is what the symbols look like. See, there's marsh,
yeah.
and then there's a swamp. Marshes and swamp are quite similar. Yeah, it's just it depends on the kind of vegetation there is, and swamps typically have kind of like trees, and
yeah.
both of them are difficult to cross. So like whenever you see these, you really don't want to cross them because
Yeah.
there's just the shore might look tempting, and then you don't know what kind of depth there's going to be. So you want to avoid these at all costs. Okay, so Robbie, these are pretty easy. What does the red box say? Yeah, buildings. So you'll notice it's pointing to a whole bunch of buildings, and so
Yeah.
this is probably the center of the town when you see something like this, right?
Yeah.
And so all the buildings, usually, if it's a good map, it'll show the actual outline of the buildings. Or these are just squares. I wonder if they're
Yeah.
actually just squares, because a lot of buildings are not just squares, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this is really zoomed out, so sometimes it's not exactly the shape of what a building is.
Do they do sometimes the roof as well?
No, well,
Like-
this would be looking down on the roof. That's all you'd be seeing is the. Well, I mean, the roof. I mean, okay, it's a good question. I mean, usually for this kind of thing, what they do is they do the foundation. Okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't really draw the roof, although you would see it if it was a picture.
Oh,
Okay, so what are these two things here, Robbie?
paved road?
Yeah, paved road, and what's the other one?
Unpaved paved road.
Yeah. So you'll
What does
notice.
paved mean?
Well, paved means is like the pavement.
Oh, okay.
So the double thick lines like that means that it's a good road
Yeah.
and it's paved. And then you have the
Like with pavement?
yeah, with pavement, like with cement or asphalt. Okay.
Okay.
Both of those are paved. I mean, it could be even Unistone, but they wouldn't do a major road out of Unistone like a
Yeah.
driveway, right? You'll notice the other one is it says it's unpaved. You notice that it's broken. You see, it's still double lines,
Yeah.
but it's broken.
Yeah, it's like you know the street lines where you see one little thing of yellow and then skip yellow.
No, it's not that, Robbie. What it is, it's unpaved.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about the lines that are painted on the road.
Yeah.
These are unpaved. That means, do you know what that means if it's unpaved?
No.
It can be a dirt road
Oh.
or it could be rocks. Rocks are usually better because if there's rain, then the road becomes mud, right? But if it's
Yeah.
rocks, it's better, but still it's not, you can't drive very fast on them. Okay?
Yeah, and it's really bumpy. You need a bit of suspension.
That's right. So the paved roads and the unpaved roads you can drive on, okay?
Yeah.
And then there's other lines. What does this other line mean?
Trail.
Yeah, so you can't drive on that,
Yeah.
right? You can only walk on that. And so that's important to know as well. You can get from one place to another. This one here is called the Pack Trail. The Rideau Trail would be another one that we're planning to go on one day.
Yeah.
Right? So it would show you a map. So you'd also have like trails for bicycling. Okay.
Oh, what about like dirt biking? Like
No, dirt
motorcycles?
bikes are not supposed to be on. I'm not sure about the laws, but I mean, dirt bikes are not supposed to be on roads, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it could be on trails, but you want them on walking trails. I think there's actual laws about that. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But there you go. That's a topographical map. What'd you think of that?
cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of information. It's good to know what all those things mean, right?
Yep.
3.5. I can demonstrate the basic use of a GPS unit. Okay, Robbie, so this is us geocaching.
Oh yeah.
You'll notice that there's a straight line, but it doesn't tell you turn by turn.
Yeah.
It just tells us where to go, and then we kind of decide and figure out where we're turning to get to it.
Huh.
But this is a GPS system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, so you're very familiar with this. This is what I use when I'm driving.
Yeah.
See, now, the difference is that when you're walking on the other one, it wasn't giving you a turn by turn. Now it's giving you turn by turn, right?
Yeah.
So look at this. It's coming up on what street?
Rideau.
Rondo, yeah.
Rondo. Okay.
And then it'll tell you in how many you have to turn again. See?
Now it's 810.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
Route 810.
Now you notice the other thing that it's doing is it's swiveling the map around so that
Wait,
you're always driving
For, like, it
straight.
turns?
Yeah, look, see how it's going to turn now? The whole
Oh
map turns.
yes, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. The other one didn't do that.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
3.6. I can teach another youth how to find directions by using a compass.
But see how quickly the needle works? So that's nice. And they make another one that not only is it nice like this and it protects it, but it also has a point here and a point here. And after you do what we talked about, you can actually follow it this way. So they're really nice. But that's a beautiful compass. Take care of it. Don't put it in your backpack. Your mother will have it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we need a compass. But if we don't have a compass and we have the sun and we want to go south, where do you think we should have the sun? Yes.
So if we want to go south.
Okay. There's
no.
east. So there's your map. East is over here. North we know from the compass is here, but we don't
so
have
here.
a compass. So east is where the sun came up. And the sun is where today?
East.
Right there. Okay.
That
And
would be west.
It's 1 o'clock and actually that's probably
What time is it?
south.
One.
Okay. So if we go, that's north and that's
Robbie, so do you know why I brought you to this park? Because I want you to tell me where this line, right up to the two goalposts, right through the two goalposts, where that compass is pointing. Okay, so I want you to tell me what this line, what direction it's pointing in from here. Okay, so you're going to use that. So what you want to do, you hold it up to your eye. This always has to be nice and flat. Okay, and you have a little that little string there, and this has to be lined right on line. Okay, and I want you to tell me what compass direction that is. Okay, so we got the two goalposts up there. They're perfectly in line. Now we got the string and the compass. So all four things are in line. And our readout is, so we're getting roughly a 4. 4, Robbie. Okay, so what compass direction is that? Exactly, it's north. Yeah. All right, Robbie. So this is the field where the soccer field is. It's a park. Do you notice anything?
No, there's a compass.
Yeah, there's a compass over here. And do you notice where it's pointing?
Oh yeah, the compass.
Yeah, where's it pointing?
North.
Yeah, so you'll notice that it's pretty much very close to north. So this whole field and the soccer field and the park was all laid out according to the compass direction. And yeah, when we measured it out, it was only off by 4 degrees.
Oh.
So that's why I took you to this park, is so that you get perfect directions. It's a good place to start.
Oh.
Right? So this line is extremely close to north. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we're looking this way now,
Yeah.
what's that direction?
East.
It's east, yeah. East. And what about over here? Run with this way. It's what?
Wait, it's turning to south.
Yeah.
Southwest.
That's south. And what's that one? What? No, this is south. What's that one?
West.
Okay, Robbie, do you know how to remember north, east, south, and west? You can think clockwise, okay, like this, okay? So that's north, we established, right? This over here is what?
East.
Yes. And this? Yes.
West.
Okay, so here's how you remember it. Never eat soggy waffles. Okay? That's how you remember it. That's how you remember where east and west are. Never eat soggy waffles going clockwise. Okay? Do you get it? If you look at your compass and you read it, okay, you got another compass there.
Yeah,
See? Never
Here.
eat soggy waffles. There's the west.
Never eat soccer, eat waffles. That makes sense.
Okay? That's how you remember where north, east, south, and west are. All right? 3.7. I can explain the effect of weather on hiking activities. So, when you're hiking, how can weather change your plans?
Let's say if it's windy,
Yeah.
it changes your plans because, yeah, it's hard to fight the wind, especially if it's very windy.
Yeah, yes.
So, and rain as well, it slows you down.
Yeah, it slows you down. Yeah, because it's miserable. It reduces your vision sometimes.
Not always, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
also, fog.
Yeah, well, fog would, yeah. Especially if not so much your immediate, but your distant landmarks. Your distant landmarks, like if you're going towards a mountain, the next morning you wake up, you won't see that mountain anymore. 3.8. I can be responsible for myself and aware of my surroundings while hiking. Okay, Robbie, while you're hiking, how can you be responsible for your safety? And what can change when you're hiking?
How you're responsible about your safety
Yeah.
is, if you see a river that
Yeah.
has a log on it,
Yes.
there's a point across it, and
Yeah.
there's a bridge right next to it, which one do you pick? Not the log, definitely.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you don't take risks.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll be on a trail and you might have to like go up a steep hill or something like that, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be really careful with that. 3.9. I can explain the main principles of leave no trace. Can you explain to me the 7 principles of leave no trace? The first one is called what?
plan ahead and prepare.
Right. And so how can you do that?
If you don't know about the place that you're going, to look for maps and read about it.
And what else do you do to prepare?
Check the weather and see if it's sunny or rainy or cloudy. You can pack according to what you need.
Okay, so what's the second principle of Leave No Trace?
Travel and camp on durable surfaces.
Yeah. So explain to me what camping and traveling and camping on durable surfaces mean.
Means travel on a surface where you can walk on and not break your ankle.
Well, essentially, it's you don't want to go off the trail.
Yeah.
You want to travel through the trail,
Yeah.
right? Because
Safety.
it's for safety, but it's also respect.
Yeah.
Because then you're trampling, you're trampling on the habitat.
Yeah.
So, okay, Robbie, what's the third principle?
Dispose waste properly.
Yes. So, what does that mean?
Means put your garbage in the right place.
Okay. So, what if there's no garbage cans to throw your food out or your wrappers out,
If you have a bag, put it in there.
and then you carry it out
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
right?
What happens if you have no bag?
Well, that means you didn't follow the first principle.
Uh-huh.
If you go hiking and you bring food, you need to bring a bag for garbage. That's how you prepare it. That's how scouts are prepared, right? And that's the first rule of the 7 principles. Okay, Robbie, what's the fourth principle?
Leave what you find.
And what does that mean?
It means, let's say you see mushrooms. If you're gonna take them, know what they are. If you're not gonna take them, don't destroy them.
Yeah, 'cause if you're going to eat them, that's okay. If you're
Yeah.
actually going, but if you're not, then don't destroy them. Also, if you build what if you build a shelter or something?
Take it apart.
Yeah, you want to leave it the way that you found it.
Yeah.
Robbie, what's the 5th principle?
Minimize campfire impacts.
Okay, and what does that mean?
It means, let's say you're building a campfire. Be aware where you are and careful. You don't want to make a forest fire.
Right. What about after the campfire is done?
Put it out.
Put it out and you spread the ashes nicely. Okay. Yeah. Robbie, what's the 6th principle?
6th principle is respect wildlife.
Okay, so how can you respect wildlife?
If you see a bird nest, don't bother them.
Yeah, and you want to respect all wildlife that you see. Okay. Robbie, what's the last principle?
Be considerate of the visitors.
Yeah, of other visitors.
Of other.
What if another visitor needs help? What do you do?
Help them.
Okay, so you can offer any kind of help.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be communications.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say, let's say they need help. They need to call an ambulance or something.
Yeah.
What can you offer?
Unless they don't have a phone, you give them a phone.
Right,
Give them
you
your
call
phone.
for them and you
Yeah.
wait with them. Yeah, it's also just being considerate when you're walking in the same place when you're camping next to someone else as well. Right?
3.10. I can treat simple cuts and scratches. Ow! Robbie, do you have a Band-Aid? I cut myself. Yeah.
Here.
Excellent. Okay, thanks. Thanks, bud. That thing had a thorn back there. Good. So clean it nice. What are you doing? You're cleaning the wound, right? Mm-hmm. Good. So you have the little thing with the disinfectant to clean the wound. Great. All right. Now it's time for the Band-Aid.
Pull it out.
All right. Nice. Remember, put it on and don't put it on too tight, eh, Robbie? That's it. Yes, I love it. Great. Excellent. Thanks, Robbie.
Stick.
That's fabulous. 3.11. I know how to avoid becoming lost and I know what to do if I get lost. So Robbie, how can you avoid getting lost? And what do you do if you're lost by yourself or with a group?
How you don't get lost
Yeah.
is you stay on the trail.
Stay on the trail, right? And then sometimes have a map, have a compass, understand where you're going, and how to get back, and any major landmarks.
Yep.
Okay, so you plan your route before. And what do you do if you do get lost with a group?
Hug a tree, which means family.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you do if you're alone. What if you're in a group? Yeah.
You whistle, or you go back.
So if you're in a group, there's going to be someone who's usually in charge or older. Okay? Now they might want to try to go back. But the only thing you could really do is if you're following them is to remind them we're supposed to hug a tree. It really depends. You know, if they think, oh, I think it's this way, then you could go. Okay, so usually there's a leader that's involved in this. Not necessarily a scout leader, but someone who's older. Okay? 3.12. I have attended at least 3 hiking activities, one of which involves hiking on hilly trails. Robbie, you having a good time, bud? It's dark, eh?
No, my dad.
But you got lights.
That does not have one. No, my dad is not red. My dad is
Oh boy, now we got a choice again.
my dad.
Isn't that beautiful, bud?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. So, Robbie, do you remember this day?
No.
This is the day that you did your trail skills.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and that card shows that you did trail skills 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we were a bit late when we went to the table where the scouter was. And so what we did is we made sure that you understood everything point by point on this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty?
Yep.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks.